Hey there, anime fan, it's Sailor Moon Review time. Today it's episode 17. The episode begins with Serena and Rini doing a little future daughter past mother bonding. Isn't that cute?
Only in the most vomit-inducing way.
Then later that day, Rini gets all upset about her parents and stuff, so she goes for a walk in the rain. Meanwhile, in space! The Dark Moon family has set sister number 3, Pete's, who I'm just gonna call Pete, to lay an electric-flavored smackdown on Makoto, who's sick as a dog. Oh, and some tow-headed refugee from Oron High School named Asanuma not only manages to overhear Darien and Serena and Luna just spilling the beans on the whole magical superhero thing, he also charms Sailor Jupiter into giving the dish on pretty much the whole operation.
Gee, that was a nice secret organization y'all had there, once.
Then after a while, Pete shows up with an army of droids dressed up as John and Jane Q. Nippon, with Invasion of the Body Snatcher intentions. So it's a good thing our heroines are on the scene to put a stop to it. And from there, it's last verse, same as the first. But the girls still have a pretty cool fight. Then Jupiter gets captured and Pete gets dead, and Sailor Venus is next at bat. Okay, so I was whelmed. Not over, not under. This episode is just okay. It's more focused on Makoto this time. We get to see her place, which is filled with plants. So poison ivy powers established, I guess. We also find out Lita was orphaned by a plane crash, and lives by herself.
That can't be legal.
I wouldn't know. But the moment between Makoto and Asanuma is sweet. And I also like that every once in a while, a normal human manages to figure out what's really going on in Tokyo. Now let's deal with the episode's plot. It's about as predictable as a stopped clock in terms of the events of the story. Everything plays out just the way you'd expect. And it's even more irritating because Sailor Jupiter is fighting while sick. Wait, but there's a twist. The illness was all part of the family's plan. Now, as much as I may not like the structure of the plot, I have to say the Black Moon family are very impressive villains. I really like how they're undermining the scouts and defeating them one by one. But if they're so smart, how come they can't just grab Rini during one of her many rainy day walks? Speaking of, we also see a lot of Sailor Chibi Moon this episode. And she was okay, not horribly irritating, but not at her best either. I think the point of Usagi and Chibi Moon's scenes is that they clash because they're so much alike, but I just can't get behind that. So let's compare Rini and Serena with Rini and Hotaru. Mother and daughter clash, and both act like brats. They argue, and there's a distinct lack of harmony. And yeah, I get that families act like that, but they need to balance it by showing how they complement each other.
Private, in fairness, you need to give credit where credit is due.
True. Venus does mention that Rini managed to cheer up Serena, but that's telling. Now with Rini and Hotaru, you can see how the little pink puffball brings the goth girl out of her shell, and how Hotaru can somehow get Rini to act nice.
Well, that's one heck of a trick.
Finally, let's talk action. The one really good part was a wrestling match between Lita in her civilian form and one of the spooky doppelgangers. But other than that, it's all very standard. Okay, now it's time to break down the good and the bad in Sailor Moon Crystal episode 17. On the good side, we get more Sailor Jupiter. A normal dude finally figures out what's going down in Tokyo Town. The family's plans are damn good, and Rini was tolerable. On the downside, we've got one hell of a repetitive plot structure, and Rini and Serena's scenes just don't do it for me. So I give Sailor Moon Crystal episode 17 a 3 out of 5. If you're interested in more reviews of anime, movies, TV shows, comic books, or video games, check out my channel on YouTube at StupidPrivate913, or find my Facebook and Deviantart pages for video updates and more. Thank you for watching.
Hey kids, today's show is brought to you by the letter 4 and the number potato! I'm a stupid private.